By applying what I'm gonna share with you in this video, you'll probably end up improving your credit score way faster than you ever thought possible. By the end of it, you will have all the knowledge you need to get and keep a high credit score. So hit the like button and let's get into it. In 2015, when I moved to the UK, I didn't know what a credit score is. That's until the moment I decided to take out a loan to buy a car. Although my bank was advertising loans with an interest rate for up to 3%, they told me that the best rate they could give me was 20%. This is because I had a bad credit score since I didn't had any credit history. I was pretty disappointed, so I decided to start to make some research to see what a credit score is, and this is the simplest definition I found. A credit score is a tool used by lenders to determine whether you qualify for a particular credit card, loan, mortgage or service. A high credit score shows a good financial behavior, meaning that you handled positively debt in the past. This allows lenders to trust you and to borrow you more money at a low interest rate. On the other hand, a low credit score means the opposite. It reflects that either you didn't handle credit well in the past, like missing payments on your loan, or that you don't have enough credit history. This was my case when I moved to the UK. Lenders had no clue how I will handle debt, because I never had any. Therefore, my credit score was low. Now that I understood how credit score works, it was time for me to start to improve it. But whenever you want to improve something, you have to know first where you are at right now, which led me to the first step, checking my credit score. For that, I went on Experian.co.uk, which is a credit reference agency. In other words, their job is to measure your credit score. At my best knowledge, Experian is the most used credit reference agency in the UK, meaning that if you make a credit application, chances are that your lender will look at a report from Experian. That's why I consider them to be the most accurate at measuring your credit score. It's free to sign up with, and checking your credit score each month is also completely free. They also have a monthly subscription service where they show you a full report of your credit score and the steps to take to improve it. Sometimes they have free trials for 14 or 30 days. I recommend using the free trial just to have a bigger picture of where you are at right now, but I don't recommend you paying monthly for it. For full monthly report, I usually use clearscore.com, which is also very accurate and completely free. I check my credit score with Experian because most lenders are using it, and I see my full report at clearscore.com because it's completely free. Once you've got your score, that can go from 0 to 999, it will fall within one of these categories: very poor, poor, fair, good and excellent. The higher the category you're in, the easier for you to borrow money at a low interest rate. Now that you know your credit score, the second step is to check in the reports from Experian or ClearScore that your details are correct. Check your name, dates of birth, address, previous addresses, make sure that all your details are correct and up to date. Because if there is a mistake, let's say your new address is not updated, this will negatively impact your credit score. Why? Simply put, your lender wants to be sure that you live where you say you live. He wants to know for sure where to find you if you don't pay on time. For the same reason, you have to make sure to register on the electoral roll. Everyone can register, even if you are not British or you don't intend to vote. This is very important because to be added on the electoral roll, your local council has to check that you live where you actually say you live. Therefore, being registered is an extra proof for your lender that your address is correct. Just by doing these two previous steps, your credit score could improve dramatically. The third step is to check for any late payments and see if there are any mistakes. I've seen once on my report that my internet provider claimed that I missed a payment. This was clearly a mistake, hence I contacted them because guess what? If they put it on the report, they can also remove it. After they checked, they apologized and removed my faked missed payment. However, if you did miss some payments, then make sure to settle everything and bring everything up to date. Because if you have no missed payments for at least 6 months, then your credit score will improve. It's essential to commit to pay your loans and bills on time. This is the best way to show good financial behavior that will translate into a higher credit score. The fourth step is to never use more than 40% of your credit limit. As a general rule, the more credit you have available, the better it is for your credit score. Let's say you have a credit card with a £1,000 limit on it. The fact that you are merely using it shows that you know how to handle debt. But in case you don't have enough credit history, the best way to increase your score is to use some of that credit. Maybe £200 a month or even more if you feel comfortable doing that, as long as it's not more than 30 to 40% of your total credit limit. However, you have to make sure to always pay it back in full at the end of each month to avoid paying interest that will negatively affect your credit score. If you do this every month, it will show that you can regularly borrow money and pay it back in full, translating into a higher credit score. If you have a low credit score right now and are using a high percentage of your credit limit, then I would focus to pay back some of that credit card debt until I get to 40% of my credit limit. Let's say you have two credit cards, one with £1,000 limit and the second one with 500. This means that your total credit limit is 1,500. Therefore, to improve your credit score, you should never use more than 40% of that limit. 40% of 1,500, it's £600. Unfortunately, if you constantly stay over 40% of your credit limit, then your credit score will be negatively impacted by it. The fifth step to improve your credit score is to not apply for any form of credit card or loan for at least 6 months. Whenever you apply for a credit card or a loan, your lender will do a hard check on your credit score to see if you are eligible. This hard check will impact negatively your credit score for 6 months. It doesn't matter if you get approved for the loan or not. Even if you get approved and you end up not taking the loan as a personal choice, your credit score will still be affected by it. So the longer you can stay without making a credit application, the better it will be for your credit score. If you just moved to the UK recently or just turned 18 and you are looking into building a positive credit history, the best way is to apply for one credit card and use it regularly, as I mentioned earlier. Make sure to pay it in full every month and avoid applying for any form of debt until you get the credit score you want. Let's say you have a credit score that is on the higher end of the good range. If you apply for a credit card, your credit score will drop to the lower end of the good range. This is okay because you are still in the same range. What you don't want is to fall from good to fair or from fair to poor. The idea is to always stay in control of your credit score. The way I do that is that I always choose strategically when to apply for a new credit card or a loan. Like when I discovered that American Express has a credit card that offers cashback, I waited until my credit score was on the higher end of the good range before applying for it. As a result, my credit score fell to the mid part of the good range, which is still alright. The sixth step is to start to build a positive credit history. Beside everything we talked about earlier, what lenders also want to see, and this is very important, is some form of financial stability. The longer you keep the same bank account, the better it is for your credit score. But if you keep closing and opening new bank accounts, then your credit score will drop. The lenders want to see that you can stay with the same bank as long as possible. From my personal experience, whenever I opened a new bank account, even without closing an old bank account, my credit score was always negatively affected. Therefore, my advice for you is to choose one main account and keep it open for as long as possible. Open new accounts rarely, and when you do, wait for your credit score to completely recover, as I showed you earlier, before opening another one. To be fair, if your goal is to improve your credit score as fast as possible, then you should avoid opening new bank accounts altogether. Another factor that increases your stability and therefore your credit score is how long you stay at the same address. The longer you can keep the same address, the better it is for your credit score. On the other hand, changing addresses regularly will negatively impact your credit score. The seventh step to improve your credit score is to check your reports every month, because what can be measured can also be improved. Check for any mistakes and bear in mind that there is a backlog for 4 to 6 weeks for anything that you do that will impact positively or negatively your credit score and the actual results. Meaning that if you pay off today some credit card debt, it will take 4 to 6 weeks to see an improvement in your credit score. Now, if you are really desperate and you need to improve your credit score as fast as possible, let's say to take a loan or a mortgage, or you need some money urgently, there is one way that you can play the system: borrowing money from friends and family to cover your credit card debt. This way you lower the percentage used on your credit limit for 2 to 3 months. As a result, your credit score will grow quickly, allowing you to apply for that loan or mortgage, and when it's all done and dusted, you can give back the money to your friend or family member. I really cannot recommend you to use this trick because it's not the most ethical thing to do. However, it's also a way to improve your credit score, so I thought that you should know about it. Now, if you are deep into the vicious circle of debt, struggling to make ends meet, making it impossible to improve your credit score, then you want to watch this video where I share with you the simple method I use to become debt-free, so that you can replicate my results and enjoy the freedom of not having any debt. So click right now and I see you over there.